Woo, we're prepared.
Well, I almost said something. Like, okay, so for the audience, Tyler said he didn't type the name of the file yet, and I was gonna say something really bad. But then he hit record, and I almost hit the push to talk button. So
enlighten us.
Close call.
Why hold back? No one's gonna hear this.
Never mind. You know, some things you better leave it quiet.
Sometimes.
I just actually I'm in an odd position at the moment because, technically speaking, Louise kind of hosts these things. I see Jim as the greater admin, one of the OGs, and I'm sitting here like as the editor. So technically speaking,
just like I'm just hanging out, guys.
Yeah, it's one of those weird ones where I'm like, oh, okay, the people on the podcast are higher up than me. Not in a bad way, I don't feel like that when there's guests, but I love being on podcasts where there is a guest that you can show the ropes to. But because it's you two, I'm just kind of like, they know what they're doing. And it leaves me
so you are into ropes. Is that what I'm getting at?
What?
You are into ropes, so that's what I'm getting at.
Ropes? I don't.
Right. I'm not sure I get it either.
Louise, this is an intervention. Me and Jim just.
Welcome to the podcast, Louise. So, you have this problem with making nonsensical jokes, and we just don't understand, Louise.
Maybe you will once I start the podcast properly. Welcome to another episode of the Shifty podcast. I'm Luis, aka SpartanSloth, and today we have...
It's your boy Jim Servac.
And Tyler. And it seems like we're past the honeymoon period of 100 podcasts. I'm sorry, guys.
We are. We are at that.
Yeah. 100.
We are, and you need to work out more because it didn't marry your fat ass.
Oh.
Well, you're saying that I'm fat?
Ain't gonna be like that.
Well, that's offensive.
All that haterade, it's not healthy for you.
Wow. I can imagine the salt being high on this one. I don't know why. I think it's because we can get away with it. We know that we're not going to hurt each other's feelings.
I feel like that's a true statement, for the most part.
So, Luis, I just have to say, from the deepest part of my heart, Jesus Christ, what's up with the random tangents?
Hey, fuck you.
Like, there's a time and a place, but sometimes you pick the wrong time.
Yeah, I mean, you just go out there some days. You're just like, oh, what's up with the sky, guys? How come it's blue? And it's like, what random shit are you talking about now?
Good question, Jim. Why is the sky blue?
Because of nitrogen.
Okay.
No, I'll give him credit. He does it sometimes when it gets a bit awkward. Like someone...
Yeah. I mean,
someone drops something that needs to be edited out, and, when he is as random as he is, it makes it more natural to cut the edited part out. Because he can just be like, anyway, the blah, 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 and it seems natural because he always does it.
Now, here's the thing I don't understand. Like, there was I want to say a few weeks ago, or maybe a few months ago, that I was under a lot of pressure, and I was a little grumpier. And you guys were like, oh, you're being grumpy, you're not being random. And I was like, okay. Now that I'm starting to go back to random, you guys are still complaining. What the fuck?
Luis,
you can't make us happy. That's the thing, Luis. No matter how hard you try.
You're also forgetting the people around you for this particular one. When that was brought up, it was me and TJ saying... when we start talking about anime, you suddenly get really serious and on topic and less random. But when Jim's here, you suddenly go like super random and unpredictable and all that.
Well, someone has to be the responsible adult.
So when
the irresponsible adult.
Hey, okay. The doubt is starting to eat me up inside. You were talking about Undertale. What the fuck is an Undertale?
It's a game. And it's one of these like sleeper hits that a lot of people like a lot. But it's it's I don't know how to say. It's one of these really like 2D adventures where it kind of flips a lot of the RPG tropes on its head, and even starting a new game or like a new game plus, what you did in the prior game sticks through in your current playthrough.
Yeah, there's consequence.
Yeah, it's like permanent consequence, and apparently the characters are very engaging, and it's supposed to be an overall unique experience. I personally haven't played it, but it's all 2D. It's like old Super Nintendo or original Nintendo kind of games where it's top down, kind of 8-bit graphics. And somebody just made a mod for it that adds a third dimension, so you run around in like a 3-dimensional space. It's still very cube looking, kind of like, I don't know if you ever played like the like original Ridge Racer. Oh no, how's the better one? It's Mario Kart on Super Nintendo. That would be a better example, where it's not really 3D, but it's made to look 3D.
Knowing just the history of major franchises that went 2D to 3D, I can't imagine it could do that good. You know, there always seems to be that struggle with getting the extra dimension in there. You know?
Yeah. Well, this is a mod that's like in its early stages. It's not even like officially supported by the developer.
Yeah. Well, to bring up why that was brought up in the first place, because we were talking about that before the podcast even started. Well done, Luis.
Hey,
yeah,
I said
Luis had a sensible topic. Yay!
Yeah. I brought up Undertale just beforehand because I like the premise of it, you know, and I've seen a few Let's Players have their little go at it. Some go down like the evil route, some go down like the peaceful route, which is interesting to see. But it's one of those franchises that are really difficult to get into because the fan base, you know, it they can get a pretty what's the best way to describe it without this getting a ton of dislikes if they come across it? Defensive about the game? I don't know.
Yeah, the people who like it really like it, but I mean that's just kind of the internet for you kids.
And not to throw Tyler under the bus, you brought it up because I brought up a game that I thought was fucking stupid, and so am I right in assuming you're not a big fan of Undertale, Tyler?
No, I actually like the premise. I just kind of avoid anything to do with the game other than the game, if you know what I mean. Like,
no, because of fan base.
Yeah,
I get it.
The fandom.
Yeah. Oh, to be honest, it's not really the game's fault or the creator's fault. There's nothing you can do about it.
You really can't like blame that on the creators in the least. I mean, I don't know how you control your fan base. You know, and people like to get really, really, really enthusiastic about whatever they do like or dislike. So.
Yeah.
Man, fan bases have already ruined so much stuff for me. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with that because of the fan base.
Could you imagine if the Shifty Keys got a big enough fan base that we were just sick and tired of? Like, they were doing like really controversial things.
Don't like us. Don't like... Wait, I mean, shit. Okay, I need y'all to like us enough so that I can become really rich and then sell off this franchise. That's what I need y'all to do.
At least we're honest.
I'm honest. I don't know about these guys, but I'm honest.
Hey, I've already said that I would sell out at the drop of a hat.
Me and Tyler are going to go in on it together.
Just
the fuck you, bro, was
day.
just a joke. Please keep on listening.
Well, here's the thing, like, you know, I would want to get to the point where we have...
I blame Tyler.
You know, like, I would say that we got a fairly loyal fan base that doesn't do anything stupid. That's fair to say, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the biggest of fan bases, but I don't particularly mind because they kind of interact with us, which I would rather have than a huge fan base that does nothing or a huge fan base that does stupid shit like Undertales and Tumblr and whatever Homestuck is.
Tumblr.
Spits on floor.
You know what? I feel like I'm digging myself a massive hole. Like I feel like I'm justifying what I'm saying by bringing in other fan bases, which, if they ever come across this, are gonna fucking dislike this video.
I mean, I feel like any PR is good PR, so I'm okay with it.
So my active hate of Tumblr is gonna get us somewhere?
It might. It'll bring us attention, because as much as there are people on Tumblr who would hate people for hating Tumblr, there's got to be people out there who hate Tumblr. So it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing.
Or something like people from Tumblr are gonna post on their pages, look at these fuckers, they don't like Tumblr. And then they link it, like they put a link to our channel, people visit our channel, watch our stuff. Hey.
Well, let's be honest here, Luis. I mean, the amount of times this podcast has brought up stuff like Hitler within the first 5 minutes, I'm surprised we've not been hated already.
Right?
What was I going to say? I've actually lessened down on hating Tumblr. Like, there was a time in the past, if you go to previous podcasts, where I just ranted about Tumblr. But there is something that I like about that website, which is the artists. You know, I can't fault the people that upload their art to Tumblr, because it's actually really good. It's just the rest, and I hate to throw in.
It's the not artists that are the problem.
I mean, I take the piss on Tumblr, but to be honest, I think, like, in terms of energy I use throughout my day to actually dislike something, I think I dislike Facebook more than Tumblr. Because I don't even use Tumblr, you know, I don't spend time there, and indeed there is a lot of cool art there. Facebook, like, I have to open that piece of shit at least once a day to check, like,
I've abandoned
if I'm going out, or, like, if there's something important regarding the university or something. But it's always like I open up, and then there is at least one or two posts in my timeline that just pop out and it's like, look at how big of an asshole I am. Oh, great. That reminds me why I don't like Facebook.
This makes it sound like
maybe I just need to clean up my friends list. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. I get it.
Yeah, because if there's someone anonymous on the internet being an idiot, you're kind of like, oh well, that's the internet. But when it's someone you know, and you consider a friend, and they post something stupid on Facebook, you're kind of like, come on, bro, really?
Come on, brah.
Bro. Oh, and apologies to the audience if my voice sounds like crap. I've been fighting an illness or cold or whatever the hell it is for a little while. I hope it doesn't.
You got a
show.
runny nose?
Well, not that. It's just kind of sore throat and etc.
Do you feel like you're about to die?
No, that's why I'm here.
So it's not Ebola. You're good.
It's not Ebola.
That is good news.
Yeah.
He's not wrong for once.
See? No. There was the other time you agreed with me. So,
and
second
you
time,
right?
I'm right.
Oh my god.
At least the second time.
This is twice. Ugh.
Not like I'm counting, but I'm counting.
Not that I'm counting, but I'm just counting, you know what I'm saying?
So, topic-wise, what should we talk about, Luis? I'm throwing it in your hands.
So, I never really explained what was the game I was talking about that ended up with the whole Undertale conversation. Games with Gold has been weird in the past few months. Like, sometimes they give really fucking good games like Tomb Raider or Black Flag. Sometimes they give really shitty stuff that it's like, man, no one gives a crap about this. So this month they gave one that you could argue it's like a AAA game, so I'm gonna talk about this one soon. But the other one is called Zheroes. Like, it's a play on the word heroes, but there's a Z at the beginning. It's a whole thing. The game just feels so generic. You know, it's a beat 'em up, and there's no dialogue. It seems like the premise is, oh, there's a guy who wants to take over a planet, and there are two heroes who will stop that. Congratulations, you know?
Luis.
Just, man,
Louise, I don't think we should be throwing any stones about being generic.
Hey,
I mean, I feel like it's not the best decision.
Yeah, like
we're not making a game, okay?
yeah, but like, I mean, you could argue in the industry of podcasts, we're as generic as it comes. Like, really.
We're a multicultural podcast, Tyler. You don't find that every day.
Okay, we're worldwide and we got different nationalities here that speak in English. I suppose that's something, but yeah, we're still pretty generic, so we shouldn't throw stones. But then again,
Anyway, we're not a game. You
I
know,
I can't rate the game. I haven't seen it.
Well, anyway, I didn't like it. I think it was just too weak of a release, and they pull that crap sometimes. Like they offered some pool game 3 months in a row.
Oh, I do remember the full game.
And it was fucking awful. I think I mentioned it before that their PR like replied to a tweet of mine, like trying to be cheeky, which was funny and all, but you know, sorry, the game's just not good. I mean, entertaining or whatever.
It's just not good.
I don't really know who selects the games, so you know, it could be their fault. It could be Xbox.
But 360 one they're releasing now, it's good. It's Deus Ex.
Yeah, Deus Ex is alright. I played it on PC, but yeah, it's alright. I didn't finish it, but I started it.
I will say, like, games, because I need this explained to me. Games have got, bleh. What's it called again? My head's just
Games
of Gold.
Yeah, that.
That thing.
Yeah, that goddamn Frangle thing.
Jeez.
Gives them their hippie hoppies.
Right?
Yeah.
A redneck ass.
I'm getting less and less British day by day, aren't I, Jim?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Let no one lie to you, Tyler.
What are you becoming?
We'll get that British out of you yet.
Just gotta get you around Texas, boy.
Yeah, get you around here in the South, Bo. That's all.
But with Games of Gold and that, I also got to think, like, aren't they games that are technically being given to you for free? So
yes and no, because I still have to pay for the Gold subscription.
Oh, yeah, you got that, but I guess like that's kind of like the added bonus. Like you're not directly paying for the games in the Games of Gold, right? That's not how it works.
Right.
You're paying for a subscription, right?
Or if it's not one of the games with gold, like free games, it's usually a discount on like DLC or other games.
Yeah,
that's not a bad deal. I just think Luis is disgruntled about this month's selection.
Yeah, they can't all
last
be
month
amazing.
It was a good one. It was Thief. That game is pretty good.
I've heard that game's pretty generic.
Well,
not to say, I'm not sure.
I will say it gets old because it's like, oh, be stealthy and steal shit for hours on end. But it's well made, you know. At least the stealth mechanics work properly.
No, that's true too.
But what I will say about Games of Gold, like, they are giving entire games away for nothing. Well, as far as I'm aware, I don't really take notice of them because I feel like I'm becoming less and less of a gamer as days go by.
Stays
weird.
by.
As I'm sitting in front of a cabinet full of Xbox 360 games. But what I mean to say by that is, can we still complain with games that are literally being handed to you? Like, I would expect them to be shit, you know? Like, almost like a demo disc. You remember in, like, PlayStation times where you got a disc in, like, not even a case, it was just like, you know, those cheap cardboard little cutout things. And it was like a demo disc. You get to play, like, half a level of Tomb Raider, you know?
True.
You know, like, back then, that was kind of shoddy, but, you know, it's kind of what it is now.
I think it's kind of like a point of view thing, because in a way, yes, they are free, and I could be seen as an entitled little bitch. But on the other hand, it's like I said, like, we have to pay for the gold subscription to get these games and to play them. Like, if I run out of my gold, I can't play them. Like, I have to have a subscription going on.
It sounds very hit and miss, which is to be expected. You can't release a AAA game 1 month and expect that kind of quality every month.
But the thing is, PlayStation has a similar service, and as far as I know, like, I don't have the insider knowledge because I don't have a PlayStation, but as Jesus Christ, Miss Dog's here. Didn't see her coming in. But yeah, as far as I know, they release really good games for free every month, like AAA stuff.
The grass is always greener.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, you have to like the PlayStation games and ecosystem. I mean, I don't. I've never been a PlayStation guy, so it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, like I will say as well, I'm with Jim on that. Like, when the PlayStation 3 came out, I guess the most successful thing that Xbox did was buy half the franchises that I found interesting that were at first exclusive to PlayStation. Because if they didn't do that, I would have been torn on which one to get. And then they just went, oh, we're going to buy the rights to Final Fantasy and, this, that, and the other. And I was like, well, that was kind of why I wanted to get the PlayStation. Now I don't need to. I'm not really looking into the specs or anything like that. I don't want to get into a years-old console war, but yeah, that seemed really different.
The Crusades, they were in between like the church and whoever they wanted to fight. It was like Xbox fanboys and PlayStation fanboys. Whatever the history books told you, it's a lie.
In all honesty, like, I kind of look back at the console wars and laugh. Because it's like, I remember so many people having...
Oh, they're still ongoing. I mean, there's always going to be that competition in the console wars.
And, like, in the end of the day, whatever you spent your money on is whatever you spent your money on. Let it go.
And it's better to spend money on games than on drugs, kids. Remember that.
That's a true statement. I feel like, though, that... I feel like there's always kind of been like console wars of a sort.
Yeah, because, Sega, Atari.
Right. That's always been there. And I think it's just more pronounced now because of the internet. Everybody can, have these cross-world conversations, and you can kind of get the feel for different regional preferences. Like, PlayStation has a far and away huge lead in Japan over Xbox. I mean,
definitely.
Hell, even Nintendo's probably doing better than Microsoft is over in Japan. So if you go to Japan, you're probably more often than not going to see people who have PlayStation games. While here in the U.S., I think PlayStation does have the technical lead, but I think their lead has been reduced. I think Xbox is starting to pick up a little bit. I think. I don't know. I haven't actually looked at any of the numbers, so I might be talking out my ass. But it's just an interesting, like, cultural difference as to how. Maybe it's just the mindset, because I mean, Microsoft is very much an American company, and they have a lot more Americanized franchises. Like, it appeals much more to the Western world than it does to the Eastern world. I know that's for sure.
It's a shame in a way, because when I tried finding, I was searching around on Xbox One for a few games. I was like, I wonder if they have Guilty Gear. And it's like, nope. I was like, oh yeah, it's a very, Eastern influence kind of,
Guilty
game.
Gear?
Didn't they have that on 360?
They might do. That might consider me booting up the 360. And then I was like, what about Persona? And I was like, oh, that's not on the 360 either. That's a shame.
Right, but that's a very like I'm not somebody who cares about Persona. Like, I know what it is, and it just seems very boring to me. Like, it doesn't quite speak to me.
You have to be into it. Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't speak to me quite the.
So Tyler's part of a fan base.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe, but that's okay. I have good friends that are. I don't want to say maybe they're not good friends. I have a friend who is.
I don't like that person anymore.
No. I like he's all right guy. But he is
With
like
Persona.
he is all about some Persona, all about it. He even goes to cons and like dresses up as the Persona characters. So
That's fucking easy though. Like,
yeah, I know. And that's the thing about it. Like he, that's I don't know if it's just easy for him or what. And his girlfriend like loves the like games like Hatoful Boyfriend, which is like the dating simulator games, the kinetic novels or whatever you want to call them. So it's like they're both like unique in that regard that they really love those games.
Let's see. I want to test something. Tyler,
yes.
Persona sucks.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, Tyler's not that big into the fan base. Good to know.
You need to remember, like, I think life's a little bit too short to get into some sort of fan base and fight, like, almost like a religious debate about it.
Yeah. By the way, I never played Persona. It was just to test Tyler. I don't know if the game is good or not. But I got a question for you guys. Before the 360, which I think it's something that we've all got our hands on, like we've all owned the console
right
or still
now.
own the 360. Yeah.
No, turn it off. There we go.
Wait, yeah, and that's the one. The 360 didn't have that noise.
There you go. There's the other one.
Anyway, before the 360, what did you guys used to use for gaming?
PlayStation 2.
The original Xbox, GameCube. I had those at the same time. I also had a Game Boy Advance back then, the original Advance, not the SP that was like backlit and flipped up. And PC. I played on PC back then. So those are the four that I played in. I actually got a PlayStation from my uncle when I had my original Xbox. So I played a couple of PlayStation games like a generation behind everybody else.
I could go through like down my life, I guess. It started with Super Nintendo, the SNES. Then afterwards, I remember my brother had Nintendo 64 while we had a PlayStation. There was always that kind of like rivalry there, I guess. PlayStation 2, then we jumped to 360 and the Wii, and we even got the PlayStation 3, but it's literally used to play two games, and eventually we ended up with the one. As far as portables go, like Game Boy, I think we got the N-Gage somewhere, and
oh my god, I forgot about the N-Gage.
Man, I actually used that as a phone. That was my phone. It was not the best idea. But yeah, like, we've had quite a few consoles. Also, I kind of want to apologize for a comment I made earlier when I was referring to console wars. I went, oh yeah, like Sega and Atari, which isn't suitable. It would have been Sega and Nintendo and Atari and Commodore, surely, right? I'm thinking about the wrong generations to match together.
Yeah, I keep saying that. Someday Atari is going to come back and kick everyone in the ass.
Yeah, I'd like to see that happen, considering their company pretty much went bust, didn't it?
It's all part of the plan, Tyler. Keep waiting for that comeback.
Yeah. Keep waiting on it.
But yeah, I think I treaded a similar path to you, Tyler. I mean,
you crossed
I
all
used
paths.
Well, no. I used to play on the PC a lot, and then I switched to the PS1. I still played it on the PC like regularly. I still do, I guess, but I don't have a gaming PC because now things just got way too tacky and quite honestly way too expensive. Which people can make the argument that consoles are more expensive, but whatever. So yeah, it was the PC, then PS1, then PS2, and then when I went to switch for the 360, I thought about getting a PS3, but PlayStation's got so fucking expensive here. And then I played Halo at a friend's house and was like, well, okay, that Halo thing is good.
Sorry for interrupting you, Luis, but am I the only one that thought back to, you remember E3 when PS3 announced their price?
Oh my god.
Even
that was
I know it was expensive. Like everything is much more exponentially expensive in Brazil because of your government and taxes. But
And
like
everything.
yeah. But
Because
like
of
even for the Americans, PlayStation pushed it a bit far. with
God,
their
I remember
announcement.
that so clearly too. Like trying to like convince people that something this expensive was worth investing in.
Can you imagine like Microsoft back then? Like leaning back, being like, "Okay, we don't have to market as hard as we thought."
Well, you say that, but for the longest time, the PlayStation 3 was outselling the Xbox 360. It wasn't until like
Indeed.
the last 3 or 4 years that the 360 finally got ahead of PlayStation in sales, and that was interesting to me because Microsoft had like pushed the HD DVD initiative as the competing technology to Blu-ray, and they ultimately lost out over that, and it's just interesting to me that like 360 still became like the de facto programming console. So if there was anything that was cross-platform, they would make it for 360 and then port it to
Yeah.
other systems. That was despite the storage medium difference.
The thing that really got to me with that generation as well was the fact that Nintendo Wii outsold both of them. Because I can't remember who said it. I think it actually might have been somebody on the podcast. Apologies if it was one of you that said it. But typically, any quote-unquote gamers out there, they got either the Xbox or the PlayStation, while their family also had with it a Nintendo Wii. And my god, the figures showed, because the Xbox and the PlayStation had roughly similar amounts of sales per unit, whereas the Nintendo Wii absolutely destroyed both of them. I just sat back like, whoa, that really showed whoever had like one of the others, they probably had a Wii as well, even if it was just for one game.
I think it was because it appealed to that casual gamer market.
Yeah.
It was something that was like very different, and it seemed intuitive. And to draw a comparison to like iPhones, there was an intuitiveness to using iPhone as opposed to using the regular cell phones like flip phones and such. And the then standard for what a smartphone was, like the blackjacks and stuff like that. And the Wii U's motion controls like just allowed even people who didn't play games to just intuitively manipulate the game console. I think that just got like the family thing involved with each other.
Definitely.
Because where I was working at the time. I mean, that's predominantly who bought these things. Like people coming in and buying them for their family because they had Mario and such like that, but they had all these group games like Wii Sports and so on that just
we still actually play the Wii Fit.
Right, Wii Fit, and it's things like that. It's just like there's just nothing else ever accomplished that.
But you know what its downfall was for the next generation? It wasn't unique anymore.
Right, well, it wasn't unique, one. Two, Nintendo's consoles have always been underpowered, unfortunately. And three,
Graphics.
when the Wii U came out, it didn't come out with a big, like, serious launch title to give it some real success behind it,
because
it didn't have one of the big, like, Nintendo franchises.
It almost felt like they were releasing another product to be attached to the Wii, like like the steering wheel or the gun that you could plug the Wii remote in. It felt like it was another controller for the Wii at first, until someone had to explain, no, that's the new console, and it's like, what? Well, they could have done a better job at explaining that.
I mean, and that's I kind of was in the same boat. And Nintendo has this weird, I don't know if you want to call it a problem or not, because they do something really great on like alternating generations. Like they did the Game Boy, which was great, and the Game Boy Color, which was not great because it was just colored Game Boys. They just came in different colors. And then they had the Color Game Boy, which actually had like colors on the screen. It wasn't backlit, it was just colors on the screen. But not every game supported the colors. Huh?
Their naming schemes really need to be
Right.
thought out.
Yeah, no kidding. And then they did the Game Boy Advance, which is which is a great thing, but it didn't have backlighting. So they came out with the SP, which, because most people had advances already, they really didn't care to have the SP, because at this point you had the little attachments that you could stick on the front of the advances that would just light up the screen for you. And then they came out with the DS. And the DS was like this big revolutionary thing that like took off. There was nothing like the DS, and I don't know that the 3DS has not captured people's hearts and minds the same way the DS did. And the Wii was very much the same way, as it swept people away, and then the next iteration of it, the 3DS and the Wii U, both of those consoles were kind of like, they were lukewarm. I mean, I got myself a 2DS because I didn't care about the 3DS, like the 3D aspect of the 3DS. And then I ended up getting myself the new 3DS because there's new games that are only supported on the new hardware. So
I was about to say, like, I can't remember getting any of the recent Nintendo things, but I just opened a cupboard that's underneath me, and I see, like, the first thing in there is Nintendo's DS, the brain training thing, which may be the only game we actually had with it. Oh god, that brain training thing. I need to start playing that again, or learning from it.
What does DS stand for?
Dual screen.
Yeah, because there's two screens.
Oh.
It's fairly simple.
Huh.
Luis's mind's just like, I thought it stood for digital screens.
I never figured that out before?
I don't know, Luis.
It might be because, you're Brazilian. Maybe dual screens has a different word.
It's racist.
That's not racist.
I don't think it's racist. I think racist is a little bit of a harsh word.
Luis, say the word screens in Portuguese.
In Portuguese?
Yeah, screens.
Screens.
Yeah, or is it just screens?
Telas.
Exactly, so there's your problem. It would start with a different initial in your language, wouldn't it?
No, it's here we use DS as well. Also,
that's why it would be less obvious.
Racist. It was just a joke. I'm sorry.
And Tumblr, don't get your trigger knickers in a twist.
Oh no, Tumblr's already
trigger knickers.
I don't know where that came from.
Trigger knickers.
Please,
we're treading on some fine lines here about the pronunciation of that word.
Yeah,
that's Nick. That's KNICKERS. Okay.
I didn't even think of that at first, and with suffering from whatever I got, the sore throat, I probably shouldn't have said, but I shouldn't have risked it just in case it would have been misinterpreted.
Let's be very clear. He said trigger knickers.
That's also
DK.
Let's just be also very clear that Tumblr, if you find this particular video and this is the one that drives you insane, at least link them back to this channel.
I'm laughing so much my head hurts.
Oh boy. What have you done today to make you feel proud? You just kind of shrivel up and you're like, I pissed off Tumblr. Oh boy.
Oh man.
We had a topic and then we kind of derailed it.
I don't know.
Sorry about that.
We were talking about consoles.
Were we?
Yeah, DS. That was where we got up to.
Yes.
Yeah.
The naming schemes and Nintendo's thing. Yeah.
So now they have the new DS plus Master
the new 3DS is what they have.
2.0. New 3DS. Jesus Christ.
That's what I have.
I would love to be in the Nintendo's department or whatever you would call it whenever
Department
they have meetings.
Of naming.
They gotta they have to think about this and go, you know what? What's a good name? Oh, we'll call it the new 3DS because that's not confusing in the least.
Or even worse, the recent Super Mario games for the Wii, or the new Super Nintendo 3D for the. It just, it can't be that hard to just give it a name like Mario 4. I know that's boring and harder to market, but it's not confusing.
Well, I
It
think that
literally
trying to
spells
name
it
it,
out.
I feel like trying to name it Mario 4, like 20 years after Super Mario Brothers 3 is not going to work.
Okay, maybe it would be along the regions of Mario 11 at this point. or
But
maybe
Mario
even
Kart,
later.
it works out. It works out very well for Mario Kart. Like, and Nintendo actually does something smart with Mario Kart that they alternate the numbers between consoles. So like 6
Yeah.
is on the Wii, and then 7 is on the 3DS, and then 8 is on the Wii U. So it's like that's like, why don't they just do that? Like,
Yeah.
that works for me.
Instead of Super Nintendo, I can't even remember the name off the top of my head. But didn't they release that stupid Super Mario for the 3DS or whatever? And it's like, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah,
when
they had
it
some
is
Mario
the
on 3DS.
exclusive product.
Yeah, I forget what it was. I forget which one, but yeah, they do.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't need to be in the name. Well, you could argue that it really clears it up for audiences, but is it necessary? I don't know. That's something really stupid to kind of pick on, actually. I don't know why I'm going down that route.
No, it's because we started with dumb naming for their consoles.
Oh, yeah, I still think that's stupid. They should just have said, Mario 19.
Yeah, how long has the Wii U
boring.
been out? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
Year and a half, 2 years and a half.
Really, it's only been that long? Because they're already talking about releasing this Nintendo NX. Not releasing it, but they're going to discuss it at E3. And that's supposed to be like the next console for them.
Well, at this point, we can say that the Wii U was a bust, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess, but the problem was, like, I wanted to, like... They're coming out with Star Fox Zero this year.
You can't
for the
defend
Wii
it
U.
because of one franchise.
Man, I can, though. I can. Like, I mean, all right, being honest here. The whole reason I have an Xbox is because of Halo. Like, if I had never played the original Halo, I would have stuck to my GameCube playing Super Smash Brothers and Zelda, Legend of Zelda, and stuff like that.
That's true. To be honest, I have gone and said on this podcast that I would buy a PlayStation 4 just for the fact that Final Fantasy VII's remake might be exclusive. We don't know.
It's not exclusive. It is officially only a timed exclusive. We don't know how long that time is, but it is officially only a timed exclusive.
We will see, because if we're talking a few weeks, manageable. If we're talking about a year, maybe a half a year, I'm going to buy the PlayStation 4 just to get it.
I wouldn't. I mean, that's me personally.
Same.
Like, I'm not paying $300 or $400 plus $60 for a remake of a game. Oh, did you hear the thing that they said that they might be releasing it in like episodic installments? Like,
I'm not that happy
each
about
disc
it.
is an episode.
I'm not that happy because
Yeah, I was about to say, like, how much is that going to cost? Am I going to be paying $90 at the end of this?
They're pulling the same shit with Hitman, right?
It could be a DLC thing as well, which I'm not happy about. But then again, I thought to myself, Final Fantasy VII, it's a long game. It's a very long game. It is
a long game. That's a true statement.
The thing I'm worried about the most is not the separate installments. It's the fact that they've gone down this episodic route on a game that can be very open world.
Yeah, well,
That's concerning to me.
I'm wondering if for Final Fantasy VII it's an unwise decision in the same way that like Telltale Games does their episodic stuff.
Yeah.
Because I remember playing the first 2 episodes of Tales from the Borderlands, which I loved, super funny, great. Never played it again. Like, I still haven't played it. Like, I have all 5 episodes. I just haven't played it. And it's because I just came and it went, and I don't know. I'm not buying into the whole episodic thing.
Yeah, and you know what? I agree with Jim in terms that I would not buy a console because of an exclusive, like a single one. Because, the only thing that I think would convince me to buy, for example, a PlayStation now, would be, like, the only thing that would make me want to play something there, that's what I mean, would be a new Crash Bandicoot game. A good one. Go fuck yourself, Sierra.
One released by Naughty Dog.
Yeah, exactly. Not Sierra. Let's be very clear about that.
To be honest, was it Sierra's fault or was it Universal's?
Both. I'm gonna say both. I don't know. Fuck
Whoever's responsible.
But the thing is, like,
Whoever.
if a new good game for Crash came out, I'd be very interested in it. It's a big chance that it would be an exclusive to the PlayStation. I'll be just bummed out. I'll not go after a console, you know. I'll not spend a whole lot of money just to play that. It'll be unfortunate, but, you know.
Right.
Unless if it was like the PS Vita, which is a little cheaper, I guess.
I can imagine it being exclusive, just because I remember when Naughty Dog had the rights to Crash Bandicoot, they were pushing it to be the mascot for PlayStation for quite a while, so I can imagine...
It was for quite a while.
Yeah, I can imagine, like... unless it's been so abused recently, which I can't say, because it actually has success with a different audience. You know, it's doing well with Mind Over Mutant and stuff like that. I don't know how, because Crash of Titans really disappointed me as well. But, you know, I kind of forgotten the point I made. The point
I don't know where you're going with that.
Disappeared with like just rage-filled eyes as I'm looking at Crash of Titans. I don't know. If it came out again, all they have to do to satisfy me with Crash Bandicoot is play the original and be inspired by the original again, to not make Crash stupid, to just make him like the adorable goofball that he was. You know, like, yeah, he was still stupid back in the day, but it was kind of funny, and it wasn't in your face about it, it was subtle. And it, you know, I played the recent games, and my god, they actually make him stupid to the point that I'm concerned about his intelligence, you know.
His IQ points are way below the chart. It's like -20.
I think as well is that they've given him the ability to speak English, which...
Sorta.
You just need to keep him as a mute.
Kinda.
He just says pancakes, to be honest. Most of the time he's like...
That's the thing that concerns me the most.
Pancakes!
And he says, look at that. But, like,
yeah.
I'm not even going to try imitating that because it disappoints me. The thing that gets me about it is they should have just kept it as a silent protagonist, and we would have been happy. Because the gameplay isn't that bad. But, yeah. I don't know why I started this rant. It's almost like I'm fanboying. Forgive me.
Almost like you're fanboy.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Naughty Dog
I'm
could
justified.
get the rights to Crash again, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, I'm going to define fanboy a little bit here. I reckon a fanboy is someone who cannot see the flaws in their own works that they support. You know, I mean, you can call me a Final Fantasy fanboy because I literally have the collection of games from Square Enix. You know, all the Final Fantasies and stuff like that. But I wouldn't consider myself a fanboy because I don't like all of them. You know? And I will openly say that I hate number 13 and this, that, and the other. So, would you still consider me a fanboy? I don't know.
You can be a fanboy for like certain installments of a series, especially something that's like as long and as rich as Final Fantasy. Like 13, I like 13 quite a bit. Especially, I love Lightning as a character. I think she's absolutely fantastic. But I don't like.
I agree with that, by the way.
I don't really like 11. I never really could get into 14. I tried. I didn't even know there was a 12 for a long time. I liked 10 well enough. 9 I loved. 8 I did not like, and 7's pretty good. So it's like I'm not in love with the series and the franchise overall. Like Type 0, especially the next generation console port, Type 0 HD, was absolutely horrible. I mean, I have no friends that are like, oh my god, Type 0 HD is amazing, and I'm like, I played it, it's really shit. Like, I didn't finish it because it was just that bad. They did a really bad job of porting a handheld experience to a console. Like, they should have redone the control scheme a lot.
Did it get the 10.2 experience, which was no one spoke about it, no one tried defending it. It was just like, yeah,
That's
that was
just
just
it. Is
fan
that people
service.
do try to defend it by saying it has good core gameplay and that the story's just okay. It's like the story is just okay, but the core gameplay is not.
Yeah, I will agree with one of your points saying you can be a fanboy of one of them. You know, like I will go out of my way and say I probably read into the plot a little bit too far of Final Fantasy VII, like the expanded universe. I could retail like games that weren't even released in my country that were exclusive to Japan. I'd be able to tell you the plot of stuff before the game even came out. Yeah, you could probably call me a fanboy. But if someone said, "Oh, Final Fantasy VII sucks," I would be like, "Go on." You know, I wouldn't be actively aggressive towards them. I would just be like, "Why do you think that?" You know, constructively analyzing it.
Yeah, some people just straight out get their baseball bats with nails in them and
Louis,
just
say that Final
wail at
Fantasy VII
people.
sucks. I'm going to do a perfect representation of what I imagine a fanboy to do.
All right. Hey, Tyler.
Hmm?
Final Fantasy sucks.
Oh, your mom! Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. He like punches down
Your
the
mom
microphone.
sucks. Feel like that wasn't necessary.
Sorry.
Well, hey, you guys want to do some questions?
Yeah,
We'll
sure.
go with that.
Tyler, do we have a theme?
Nah, I think that we should just. I got lazy. I couldn't think of
It's
what
alright.
to do.
No, I'm not demanding anything, just, So. Questions.
Just
I
to
was
let the
gonna go
audience.
for one of the songs in Final Fantasy 12, but I suddenly forgot it. Ah, fuck! Now I remember
Well
it.
done.
Damn it!
Fail.
Just to let the audience know. Actually, I might leave in that 5 seconds of silence. I was very close.
I was trying to remember.
I was very close to interrupting. Being like, are you holding this off to try and make us stop you?
Nah,
Questions?
it's fuck. I can't remember the name, but now I remember the tune. Anyway,
Oh, the battle theme by any
I
chance?
haven't. No, it's shit.
Isn't
It's
it
the
the
bounty
same in every
hunter
game?
thing.
The battle theme changes. The Chocobo theme stays remotely similar. I think the main theme stays the same as well. As for that one, that is the main theme that you hear in the menu of that game.
Oh, really?
No,
From
that's
12?
Oh shit! Where does that play? I'm gonna
That's
butcher
from
the
12.
name.
It's the only one I played.
Yeah, it's in 12. It's in the open lands outside Ravenasta, isn't it?
I think so. That too.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a very long time. Anyway, questions, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this
that's the
one was
thing.
sent by Sunny88P, and he asks, if you were sent on an assassination mission and you knew you would be waiting at the target's apartment for about an hour to do some prep and recon work, would you eat some of the food in the soon-to-be-dead person's fridge?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's okay.
Why wouldn't I?
Like,
Free food.
I don't know about you guys, but if you've been a student for a few years and you, have a budget for food, you kind of don't care whose fridge it comes from.
Right, especially when that budget is 0.
Yeah. You kind of sit there and go, well, this person's kind of not going to be here in a few hours, so...
Right?
So you're saying that if you were an assassin, you would, make a sandwich, then neutralize your target, unalive your target, and then you would pack some lunch for the road. Is that it?
Well, de-living your target.
Whatever comes first. This is going to make me sound like a terrible guest, I just realised. No, I won't steal food out of random people's fridges. But what I'm saying is, in the context of the question, if you are going to assassinate the person relevant to this fridge, yeah, I mean, what's stopping you?
I mean, I feel like it's okay, but if they're a vegan, it's kind of that's just disappointing. And then you're just killing them out of spite at that point, right?
I mean, I'm still
Am I the only one
going
who feels
to
that way?
I would only be disappointed if like the fridge had nothing in it, like kind of like my fridge as a student.
I would also be disappointed if it was my fridge.
You open it and there's like milk.
I wonder why Sonny asked that. Like, what would be the issue in doing that? Is it like
You
a
just ask
moral
random
thing?
questions. Are you
I don't
really
know.
surprised with the random questions we've received?
Hey, there's always something behind the question, so...
You don't want to
Like your
ask
mom.
my question then.
Okay, so...
Luis is asking this
I'm gonna
question
have to ask
suddenly.
a question that Tyler asked because I have no clue what it means.
Can you send the link? I know the one you're referring to, but I forgot what I
Yes.
actually posted. Ah, there's the link.
Just
Oh, I
explain
forgot to
to the
disable the
audience.
sound pack. Hey,
It's
how about
like,
that? Oh.
there are two average questions, like in English with our alphabet.
Cheers,
And then
average.
there's one that I have no idea what it is, Korean.
Yeah, that is Korean. Let me just load it. Because I'm going to butcher Korean for an episode. Yeah, that is almost an hour into the podcast.
Yeah.
Can we copy and...
Ah, there it is.
Oh my god. I just threw this into Google just to see what would happen. And there's blog.naver.com. What is this?
Blog.naver. Well, that is a Korean thing, I suppose. Do you want me to ask the question?
Pikachu and a dash sound. Or Chihuahua, I'm sorry.
What?
Chihuahua. Yeah, the picture I got pulled up was a Pikachu and a Chihuahua, and it looks like they have something to do with milk. It's called Top Life Milk Puppies. Is what it says.
I suppose in a way there is some relevance to whatever the hell I posted. I'm hoping.
No.
What?
Now they've got like curdled, it looks like curdled milk, and they're feeding it to their dog. I don't know if it's supposed to be curdled milk or ice cream.
Alright, I'm gonna butcher the Korean language.
Go ahead. I'm gonna post what I found.
Essentially, what inspired this question was the fact that I'm getting into relearning it a little bit more, because I've been on and off the topic for like 5 years now and never sat down and actually use the language. So this is my first attempt at actually asking a question, which is uyu mashigo. God damn it, I've already said that word wrong, but never mind.
Get it right.
Yeah, uyu mashigo. You know, probably a bad idea to do it on a recorded podcast, isn't it?
Probably a bad idea to do it on a recorded podcast.
Uyu mashigo. Opsayo, uyu isayo. Which, do you want to know what that is, or should I let you answer blind?
No, I want to know what that is.
Well, uyu isayo. That is the main question there. Which is the bit that I can pronounce correct. Why can't I say opsayo correctly? Now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of doing a stupid thing where I'm like, I know what those characters are. They just...
So I threw it into a translator. And
Oh, yeah?
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this, Tyler.
Oh, yeah?
My translation comes out to milk drinking teen got milk.
That's not really what it's asking. Oh, the dangers of translate.
I mean, I'm just, you let me know, Tyler. What did you get out of that?
Okay, I'm not using a translator, so I'm hoping my lesson was correct. Uyu is the characters for milk. Mashigo means I want to drink. But opsayo is the particle for I don't have, like there's the thing doesn't exist. So the first part of it, uyu mashigo opsayo, is mashigo. There we go, mashigo. Jesus Christ, you can tell that I'm pissed off that I can't pronounce that right.
Cut to the chase.
Yeah,
the first
right.
sentence is that I want to drink milk and there is an absence of milk. The second sentence is essentially, do you have milk?
So that's the question. Do I have milk?
Yeah. You got milk?
Yes.
Damn it, dude. Yes.
I think, I say I do. There's milk in my refrigerator. It's my roommate's. I think I have 1.5 gallons between the two of them. But Google disagrees with your translation, sir.
I will just have to say, to get a Korean post whatever it is, I just put in the description and just say, "Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's right grammatically."
If you say
I don't
so.
know. Yeah.
Yes, I have milk. It's in my pantry. I think there's also a box in my fridge.
And if I'm wrong, Chaesong Hamnida to Koreans, or miane if they are inclined to feel like I don't have to be so polite. I don't know.
Is that an
Wait.
We're
apology?
learning Korean here, kids. You just got
Yay.
learned.
Yeah, I thought I was coming here to talk about like
I
vomit
could be
jokes or
irrelevant
something. Now
shit.
I'm learning.
But what I love is that I could be snarky in Korean. I could say to Luis, "God damn it, I don't have time for this," which Shigani upsale. We've
You
answered
want me
that
to
question.
shake you upside down? What?
Right? Hey, how about that video I sent you, was it last week, Tyler, about the guy who mishears the lyrics from the Psy video?
Oh, I found that hilarious.
Oh my god, it was so funny.
It was the little things that made me laugh about that. There was like, what was it that I quoted to you?
Something about being in an almond jar.
Yeah, the almond jar. And I was just like, why did I find that the funniest thing in the video? Like, everything else seemed a little bit like...
It's
Yeah.
Daddy. That's the Psy video, is Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy's pretty funny. I mean, like, I feel like a lot of Psy's videos are funny. Daddy is really funny, and if you go watch Gentleman, that's super funny, especially in the beginning.
Oh, there is one. I saw a parody. I haven't seen the original Daddy video, but there's this channel on YouTube called D-Piddy, which is a guy who usually dresses as Deadpool and go to conventions and dance with people. That's the main premise of the channel. And then there was a parody of that video, and it's like it's Spider-Man, Deadpool, and I think Mary Jane in the middle of the whole thing. It was kind of funny actually. Like they made a baby with what seemed to be a pillow and a Deadpool mask, like a baby Deadpool.
Scandalous.
Yeah.
I will just say that I remember shortly after Jim finding Gentleman that I had to recommend Brown Eyed Girls to him, the K-pop group. I'm not going to say for why, but it had to happen. That's where the female lead of that video came from.
Yeah, that's also where her dance or Psy's dance in that video came from.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to put all of that on the link shader if I can find it.
Oh, you want to put K-pop videos in the music in the link?
Oh, Tyler
Okay.
will hook you up, my friend.
I don't want to put. You
I
guys
feel like you do,
mentioning
though.
it. Why are you giving me so
Luis.
much work?
Luis, you can't complain about work. I did like a week's worth of content release. I don't know what you would call that. It took months
I
to do
know.
that. I recommend putting in AOAs like a cat, A-Pink's, Mr. Chew,
You do know you're saying words, and I'm not sure how to
anything
write
from Girls'
those words,
Generations.
right?
What was the one that I sent? Oh yeah, After School's First Love, especially that one.
That
I'm just
sounds
gonna carry on.
kinky.
I was about to say, I don't know if that's safe for work.
That's
Yeah.
the entire dancing is on script poles. It's safe for work.
I'm having an issue today. Can you guys hear a dog bark in the background?
Yeah, we can.
It's my fucking neighbor's dog. Like, I'm trying to talk while it's not barking, but Jesus Christ.
By the way,
Control your dog.
9 Muses dolls or 9 Muses glue. I can continue. Anything from FX.
Alright, so I
You've
just
opened
yelled,
up
"Shut
a
up."
very,
Hopefully that
very
helps.
deep chapter of my life, by the way, by suggesting
sorry.
adding K-pop videos to the link shitter.
Yeah, our channel history is filled up with K-pop, and some thumbnails disturb me.
I mean, who would have possibly done something like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I blame TJ.
Yeah, same. Fucking TJ and his K-pop
Fucking
stuff.
TJ.
Oh, and to anyone, you just add anything from them.
I'm sorry, baby, I love you. Anyway, last question.
I love you, baby. JK.
So, this one was sent by Dr. Sparks, and she asked, do you bake or cook on a regular basis, not counting ramen?
I work in a kitchen, so yes.
I was about to say for his job he does.
Yeah.
I don't, simply because it's just myself, and I have learned that typically, like, buying food for just me ends up costing the same amount of money and more work than just going out and buying something from, like, a restaurant.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest as well, like, going to a restaurant, this is going to sound hypocritical considering I work in the kitchen, never really appeals to me because it's expensive. That's the full stop of that right there.
I guess I could say cook for myself sometimes, but most of the times, like 98% of the times, I don't, because we share tasks here at home, and usually my mom or my sister handle the cooking part.
How dare you?
So yeah, they
Triggered.
do the cooking. Nah, I do the cleaning up.
Ah, good lad.
So yeah, like I said, we share tasks. It's not like
They make the food and I eat the food.
Yeah, I feel like that's
yeah.
teamwork. You know, they're going to put all that effort into it.
Yeah, I mean, I do eat the food. I don't feed myself out of photosynthesis, but yeah, I clean stuff up.
Oh god.
A lot of stuff.
I don't know why, but Jim, his voice, just your voice from I think just literally the last podcast just come ringing into my ears, and it was probably the best part of it when you brought up bacon. It's like, Vic, you need bacon. It was just like,
Yeah, right? Everybody
Jesus.
needs bacon. You need bacon and you need Jesus in your life, kids.
oh, it was just the passion behind the way you said it as well. It got me like laughing so hard because I forgot that you said it, and I recently edited that podcast, and when it came across, I just couldn't contain myself laughing. You need Jesus. It's like, what's wrong with you not having bacon?
Right? That's been my new thing, is like, if somebody does something I don't approve of, I say they need Jesus. It doesn't have to have anything to do with religion. Like at work, people love to put the ice dispenser on the refrigerator to crushed ice. I took a picture and then put it on my work's Facebook page, and I said, I don't know which one of you is doing this, but you need Jesus. So,
yeah.
Like, you need to get your life right using crushed ice. What is this? Ain't Chick-fil-A.
I just think it's brilliant because it's just how big of a statement it is on something that's,
something
small.
Absolutely nonsensical. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful.
Speaking of previous podcasts, I was on the supermarket the other day, and I saw some of those Lindt chocolate bars that Vic,
they're good.
picks up. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah,
being real polite here,
They're
Luis.
big.
That's what she said.
Yeah, probably.
Got him. Got her.
Jesus.
Got her.
Anyway,
Got her.
we gotta wrap this one up. We've been
All
on
right.
for a little over an hour, yes.
To wrap up the last question, if ramen is involved, even if I wasn't working in the kitchen, ramen.
We used to say ramen, and before we knew what it was called, it was ramen noodles.
Raiden.
We said ramen.
Rayman.
Like Rayman, almost.
You're gonna get the hoodlums. But if it was back in my student time before I got a job in the kitchen and I really did little to no actual quote-unquote cooking besides a mean spaghetti carbonara that I would occasionally cook up with an ex, yeah, ramen. Like, I could cook a mean ramen.
Yeah, I'm about to go back to the ramen life for sure, because I saw a thing that said about there's a nutrition professor who was so adamant about proving that calories is what matters in a diet, that for a month he drank nothing but soda, ate nothing but Twinkies, Oreos, and then some other junk food. where he just didn't eat like a large calorie amount. I think he had like 1,500 calories, but that's what he ate and drank every day for a month. He lost 27 pounds, his cholesterol went down by 20%, and his blood pressure dropped. And it was like,
Ooh.
for real? Like all that nasty ass food? And he like got healthier? That's crazy, dog. So
That's pretty cool. Maybe people should test that out. But I know that like
They
the
need
Korean,
Jesus.
they need Jesus. I know like the Korean culture is all about them noodles, and that's not racist or anything. Jesus Christ, I love their culture. That's how I know
what are you
this.
talking about? How is that racist? It's absolutely true. That's like one of their biggest things. They love friggin' noodles.
I know, but I know Tumblr might be listening.
Oh my god. Fuck off, Tumblr.
Tumblr, you need Jesus.
Yeah, Tumblr, y'all need Jesus.
But triggered. But yeah, like ramen and just some of the stuff I see in the night markets over there, it just, like they don't look healthy, but they kind of eat these things that, like that, a natural thing that has to be eaten, like every day, like rice. Is it Japan that has like? They have rice with pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's Japan. They're right. I mean, that's kind of like me too. I can get rice pretty much anywhere with anything, and I'm okay with it.
Exactly, but like
rice and beans are like the basis of our food here. Like almost all of our plates have rice and beans.
I feel like rice is pretty much universal because it grows almost anywhere.
Pretty much, but yeah, just. Do yourselves a favor and just look into like the night markets at like Korea, and look at some of the food they sell there. It doesn't look healthy, but my God, you wouldn't turn it down. And I'm pretty sure they're not that big in calories. I may be wrong, but that wouldn't stop me from eating that stuff if I could get my hands on it.
Hey,
yeah,
Tyler.
I actually got some pad thai. Actually, I can microwave. Go ahead,
Tyler. You are a night market. Anyway, before we wrap up.
Thanks for going full circle.
We have an answer for a question. And remember that one podcast we recorded with Sonny? And it was... Oh yeah, it's 100, so it's already released. And the question was, do you ever fantasize about other people? Because of that story he told?
Oh, yeah, that one where he asked.
Now, there's more insight to that.
I missed it.
Explain it for Jim and the audience members that may not have been there for number 100.
I don't think I've watched that episode yet, guys. Sorry.
On episode 100, Sonny asked if it was wrong or something like that to think about other women while you were with someone else, doing things and stuff. And so we were trying to get him to explain it a little better, and he was like, he didn't reveal much and all that.
Sonny, typical.
Yeah. So now we have some further info on that.
So wait, was it while you're with one woman, is it wrong to think of another woman?
Yes. That's the question.
In a intimate...
Depends on the situation, but okay.
According to him, it was sort of a one-night stand. It's not like a relationship or anything.
It depends. Yeah.
I mean, in a one-night stand situation, especially if you don't care that much about her, I feel like it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, if it's your wife, and you and your wife's, like, relationship is falling apart, and you're thinking of other women, then that's probably one of the reasons your relationship's falling apart. But that's not good then.
But anyway, the question was, do you ever fantasize about other people? And Sunny's answer is, this has happened only once, because I was half asleep just laying there with a girl in my arms. But technically, it could have been just a daydream.
He got caught doing it? Oh my God.
No, he wasn't caught doing it. Okay, here's the answer again.
Oh, because he made it sound like he was like half asleep and maybe he like said something. That's another thing you don't want to do, gentlemen.
Oh no,
yes.
Is be whispering the side bitch's name like in your sleep. Okay.
Right.
Name seriously.
Yeah. Don't do that, guys. It's not going to end well for you. Trust me on that.
Right, ladies, step away for a second. You don't have to listen to this part of the podcast. This is important man talk here. We're going to discuss very essential.
I've told y'all the three languages I speak. Right, it's sarcasm, English, and then real shit. This is the real shit part of the language. So
I didn't know about the real shit. I don't think you
Right.
brought that one up.
Bro
Right,
rule
so-
number 1. Remember names. We need to make it like a top 10 commandments
Yeah,
or something.
I was about to say. And then bro rule number 2 is references to beer. Your brand of beer, first off, is free, followed by cold. Okay? Then you get picky about your beers.
Oh my god.
Alright, let me just read the full answer. So, the answer is, this has happened only once because I was half asleep just laying there with a girl in my arms. But technically, it could have been just a daydream. Anyway, it was not during or near a moment of sex, just to be very, very clear.
Hmm.
Thank
I
you,
mean,
Sonny,
you're
for your
still
answer.
laying in bed with a woman that, like, even if it's just a one-night stand, I mean, she's gonna... So here's the thing. Like, maybe you don't care, but she's gonna sit there and be like, that Sonny asshole was talking about another woman while he was in bed with me. Like, that's just gonna be the story for forever now.
And technically speaking, he slept with her. You know, or vice versa, she slept with him.
Right, I mean, you know, they were in the
literal
same bed
sense.
together, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So, not the best decision.
Sonny, this is your counselling.
Yeah, this is an intervention
Jesus?
for you, Sonny. You need Jesus. Don't do this.
And bacon.
And bacon. Everybody
sorry.
needs bacon.
Anyway.
It doesn't even matter
So-
what your religious thing is, you know, just you
You need Jesus
something.
and you need bacon, period, the end. Not necessarily
Anyway.
in that order.
And if you're allergic to bacon, you're the Antichrist.
Right. Then nobody's allergic to bacon, that's just the devil.
That's just...
Yeah.
Alright then, so we have offended a lot of people already. I'm sorry if you're allergic.
So we do best
to
here
bacon,
at
you're not
Shifty
the
Keys.
Antichrist. It was a joke. Sorry. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for listening.
Wait,
Don't
did we
forget
answer
to
that?
listen. Yeah, we did.
What did
Oh,
he say? What did he say?
I just read it.
Yeah, again with that, because me and Jim were, like, in the word.
Yeah, we were definitely
I read
not
it
paying
3
attention like we should have.
times.
Basically,
Okay,
he
sorry,
was
audience.
like in bed and he was daydreaming about another woman. He didn't say anything to the girl he was in bed
Yeah.
with, though.
So, okay, once more, pay attention.
Pay attention, Jesus,
Son-
Tyler.
I need
Sonny's
Jesus.
answer was,
You need Jesus.
this has happened only once because I was half asleep just laying there with a girl in my arms. But technically, it could have been just a daydream. Anyway, it was not during or near a moment of sex, just to be very, very clear.
Technically
go.
speaking,
Yes,
technically
of course.
speaking, that's not an answer. And I'm also very dubious on a psychological standpoint. Why does he need to include anything about it being a daydream? Unless it didn't happen at all.
I mean, he is thinking about it.
I'm just saying, like, you know, the
feel like you're
mentioning, mentioning that as a daydream seems somewhat irrelevant.
Tyler, I really need to wrap this up. So,
Okay, bye, Felicia.
everyone,
Bye,
thank you
Felicia.
so much for listening. Don't forget to listen to the outro to find out how to interact with us. And until next week, you need bacon.
You need bacon and Jesus. Bye, Felicia.
And a proper answer to Sonny's question. Nah,
Bye,
I still think you're the
Jesus.
devil. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Shifty Key Podcast. The intro and outro music is provided to us by our editor, TDBTyler. To get more involved with the Shifty Key Podcast, you can answer the questions for the audience asked by our guests, or even ask the cast a question of your very own, either here in the YouTube comments or in our Rooster Teeth group. To keep updated with this channel's shenanigans, you can follow us on Twitter, join and watch our group on Rooster Teeth, or simply subscribe. All links will be in the description. Until next week, goodbye.
Right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how much Jesus does Louise need?
Wait,
9.3.
does who need?
You.
Oh. All right.
Jesus don't need you, son. You need Jesus.
Well,
trying to,
guess I know
find
what
a
I'm
power chord.
editing out today.
But hey, you can eat tofu bacon, right?
That's
You
not
need-
bacon, son. That's lies.
Look, I think this is how it works.
How?
If you don't have bacon, you need Jesus. If you don't have Jesus, you need bacon. If you can't eat bacon, well, You need.
You can eat bacon. Okay.
That's
You
just
can.
his perspective. It's just like
That's just the devil talking's all that is.
Oh god, what is all that noise?
I'm trying to like move shit around behind my desk here because I got a new printer and I realized I need to set it up before this day's over with. So,
All right, bye.
Now that we're done
Bye.
recording, I was like done with it. So,
Yeah. Spoiler alert. The Titanic sinks.